right. Hello, everyone. Hey, guys. We got Ben from Taboo Conspiracy by popular demand. All of you guys have been saying, hey, you need to have him on. And in the comments, everybody, when he joins in, everybody goes crazy. So all the ladies requested.
Well, it's great to be with you guys. I mean, I've long respected your work, and this is a long overdue discussion. So
yes,
it's quite an honor to be with you.
Yeah, definitely. I was just thinking yesterday, I don't like doing debates, but if we were into a debate with someone, I would love to have you there for sure, because they can't stand you.
And I agree with you. I am not about the spirit of debate. I actually think it's detrimental to an open and genuine discussion. And I don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything bad about the debate channels. I sometimes click on them. I think they're sometimes fun, get some interesting points, but it's the wrong spirit, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. We were asked to do one. I wouldn't do it.
If you want to be a genuine truth seeker, if you get into that debate side, you'll never be able to open your eyes to maybe mistakes that you've made that need to be corrected. Because we're here to try to tell the truth, not to sit there and present a side.
Yeah, and the thing that I learned from doing a couple of them is there's things that we don't have answers for, and it helps you research more. Like the Foucault pendulum. I had never looked into that. And when somebody asks you about it in a debate, it's like, oh, wow, that's actually a pretty good thing you got there. And then you look into it and find out.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it falls apart when you look into it. I'm like, man.
It was a carnival trick. You have to spin it a certain way intentionally.
Yeah, and they all have come with a ring. So what they call it, is it Chandler ring? I think that's the name of it. But every one of them comes with that ring and a magnetic drive. I mean, if you really had the rotation of the Earth rotating that mechanism, it'd be it'd go on forever. But I actually remember I was at the planetarium in Salt Lake City, and it wasn't moving; it was just sitting there, and that actually bothered me. That was about 5 years before Flat Earth, and that bothered me. I was like, "Why isn't it moving? Like, you guys got to give it a good push or something to get it going." Whose job is to do that? That didn't make any sense to me. It's just one of those things that you put in your mind and you're like, that didn't make any sense. But back then, I would always kind of defer to the experts,
Yeah.
And, but anyway.
Well, you were one of the first people to put a lot of things together. When I was looking into this, I was sort of late to the movement. When did you wake up? Like, what year was it, and what was going on in your life? How did that happen for you?
Well, let me give you the story. I was really into debunking the moon landings. So I was on a lot of chat forums and stuff like that, debunking the moon landings. There's I can't even remember the name. It's God's Like Forum, something like that. But I was on there. Then I went on to Lunatic Outpost, which was another one. And I was being attacked all the time. And then somebody mentioned there back in 2015, I think it was maybe even about May 2015, they mentioned, hey, you should check out Flat Earth. And I really liked him on the debunking on the moon landing. So it was a Jibby Jedi. He actually has a YouTube channel. And he said, yeah, you got to check out Flat Earth. And I watched a Mark Sargent video. I watched the Eric DeBay video. And it was like, and I'll be honest, I didn't really like the Mark Sargent video, but it was enough for me to be like, oh, that's scratching. There's something, it's not something I could just go, oh, you're so stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. It's something I had to look into. And so I actually started in that channel. I called it the Flat Earth debate. Let's present both sides. I didn't pick a side. I actually was not a flat earther. I said, let's just, let everyone present their evidence. And then all of a sudden you start getting those pieces of evidence like Foucault pendulum. And you're like, okay, well, let me look into the Foucault pendulum. This is a good piece of evidence. Also, you're like, why does it need a ring? Why does it need a magnetic drive? Why don't we have perpetual motion machines all being used just by the motion of the Earth? I mean, we could generate energy off of this if it was a true device. And but it just doesn't exist. It's a carnival show. It's a trick. You start seeing all these proofs, and all of a sudden the flat Earth proofs started rising up, and more people are starting to film long distances. There's a couple of them that did some testing out there. Some were better than others. But that's where I was getting a little frustrated is some of the testing they weren't taking in consideration of elevate your viewer height. They weren't actually putting in the distances on Google Earth. They're just filming a boat and going, look, we're in a flat Earth. And you're like, well, how far is it? How tall are you? And so that's part started frustrating me. That's why I said, okay, I got to get into this. And that's why I got the P900. And it was actually winter when I got it, but it was spring when I did my first test with my wife there. And she held that mirror up on the other side of a lake, walked to the beach. I was 3 feet off of the water. She was 6 miles away. She put the mirror into the water. And that was the first test ever. And I was lucky because a lot of times you'll get the miraging or, just basic opacity, or waves are too big that they'll block their higher angular size than the distant shore. But in this case, it was just whatever reason, it was good conditions that I could see, even though it was windy. And I saw her put that in the water, and that's actually, I don't know what the feelings you get, but that was when I said, okay, we have been lied to about something here. I mean, obviously we're seeing way too far.
So was your wife pretty open to it when you talked to her about it?
Oh, she thought it was a little bit crazy at first too, but then she saw the video of herself across holding that mirror. And I actually chose that lake because my brother, he told me, he said, oh, I saw the curvature on that lake. And so I was like, okay, well, if you saw the curvature there, let's go test that one. And I showed it to him after that, and that one bothered him. But we started growing from there. We went to the Utah lake after that, started doing the spotlight test. That was off of one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. He's an engineer, but he's brilliant. Absolutely. He's an inventor, but he said, I don't like your mirror test. So he said, why don't you get a spotlight and see if you can actually see the source of a spotlight across the lake. And that one was 7.3 miles. And I had my camera just down 2.5 feet, and there's that spotlight. She actually took it and put it into the water. I watched her go the whole way, and wow, that was, and so, okay. So, I don't know the answer to everything, and I don't think we ever will. Cause I think Flat Earth has a sense of humility with it that we need to recognize that God has mysteries that we're just maybe not capable of understanding. Not saying we shouldn't try. I'm not saying that we should, put our heads in the sand and try to discover his mystery, especially your work with respect to the cells and things like that. Fascinating stuff. But there are things that maybe we just won't understand. But I don't have all the answers. But I do know that we see way too far, and that there's no curvature that's measurable, detectable, and it should be. It absolutely should be at 8 inches per mile squared. Should be in everything. We should know about that from childhood. We should have been talking about it. We should be able to say, look at that distant city. That's 60 feet below the horizon. That's because they're 10 miles away. We should have been talking about that immediately, but it never happened. And you start seeing that the lies everywhere, and you're like, wow, but it was long story. Let's just get to it was April 2016 when I became a flat earther. So, and that's when I put out my first video. Actually, Jibby Jedi made that video. I started doing the Utah lake testing, and he wasn't putting out content fast enough for me because I was out testing, and I was like, come on, put this out. And so finally I got some software down and started trying to do it myself. So I had zero experience at actually making videos, zero.
Wow, and, really? That's what I was going to ask.
So it was just trial and error, making videos, and I don't say I'm good at it or anything, but I try to make things succinct, make them understandable to the layman. That's what I try to do.
Yeah, that's really good, because I would have never known that, because so many people I've noticed with this movement have gone into making videos that are shy, never made videos before. Like, they devote so much into it, and some people do it for a living, like David Weiss, who is on a mission, and that's just mind-blowing that they are uprooting from their regular lives and doing this. You don't see that very often. And us too. He's been working around the clock on a video. I got him. He never edited or put a video together until like a couple years ago. Yeah. And I said, you just need to try it. You're studying the word, you're doing all these things, you're investigating, just try it. And you're artistic, you'll probably be good at it. And surprise, surprise, he put a video on our channel, and everybody was like, this is the best video you've ever made.
Nice.
It was funny. I wanted to put together like a good documentary on the flat earth, almost like a movie that puts everything together in a simple way that's like 45 minutes long, not some big 2-hour production. And I made one, I think it was like 30 minutes, the biblical earth model video. And it covered a lot, but I had a friend of mine who I shared it with, and he said, yeah, but it didn't have really enough good solid proofs in it. And I thought, that's what people need to see. They need to see proofs in a way that's like, it ends all doubt, where You know, and I think there were some really good videos in the beginning of the flat earth movement. Like the first one he showed me had like ODD, it had Eric DeVay, it had all these people, and it was so well put together that I remember the first time I watched it going, and I was an outsider coming in for the first time, and I was like, that makes perfect sense. But that's not out there as much anymore. It's almost like the moon landing technology has been destroyed, and we don't have it, and it's hard to bring it back now.
So when did you guys become what you would call flat earthers, or whatever it is that you call yourself?
Yeah, it was, for me, I can remember because my daughter's 4 now, and it was before she was born. It was a few months before she was born. So it's been a little over 4 years, and it was when some miracles just started happening. And I started asking the Father to show me things. I was like, he's listening to me. I don't know why, so I'm going to ask. And that's when I asked, he showed me, and it was within like a day that he actually gave me the answer. Because, you know, I'm going outside when you go out and you're looking up at the stars every night and you're praying, you're thinking, I feel like he's trying to show me something. There's something he's trying to show me, and what he's trying to show me is right there. I'm looking at it going, what are you trying to show me? And so it's kind of funny when he actually revealed to me the firmament and all that stuff. It was right there. And
what's funny is I think Rob Skiba was the one. He was actually just following Rob Skiba because he had good word teachings and stuff from the Old Testament. And then Rob Skiba got into flat earth, and that's how he, I think, first got exposed to it.
That was the first video I saw. Yeah.
And when he called me, I'm driving down the road, and he's like, you're not going to believe this. And he's like, but the earth is actually flat. And I just remember laughing when he said that, like, no, it's not. You know, like, what kind of a weird drug mushroom trip are you on that you think the earth is flat? And
that's I thought flat earth was referring to, you know, communications making the world flat or something like that, or some symbolic thing. But I didn't actually think they thought it was actually flat. And here I am.
And in our minds, I think we jumped to the image of a flat planet in space, or the first image I thought was, you know, the boat sailing off the edge of the ocean, like that we all were shown. That was like, oh yeah, this is what ancient idiots believe, that you could just sail off the edge. And I'm like, man, they were so dumb. Can you believe that? But they didn't believe that at all.
They're a lot smarter than we thought, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like these ancient cosmologies really actually figured out pretty well.
We're still scratching our heads over their technology.
No, that's great. But yeah, it really started with the moon landings for me. Did you guys know about the fake moon landings?
You know, I watched the video, and I believe it's the one where the woman's showing how they faked the shot of Earth and stuff. I had seen that a long time ago, and I'd seen some other documentaries saying, here's all this evidence that it was faked. But I just assumed we faked it because it was easier to fake than go. You know, like,
yeah. What do you guys think about that? I actually think that one's a fake video.
Yeah, well, I still trusted NASA, which is weird. It was like I knew they faked the moon landing, but I was like, they had to. There was pressure, and now they're good people. They're always smiling in front of the camera. They're like the happiest people. It's like you cram 10 people on a plane, and they're happy for months, just sitting in there. Like, I don't understand it now. Thinking after I went on a 15-hour plane ride, I was like, how are these people so happy all the time? I would go insane if I couldn't leave the airplane for a week. I couldn't imagine months at a time. And so, yeah, it was weird seeing them fake that footage, and it didn't even click that was the only time we saw Earth as a ball ever, because I thought we had seen it as a ball. And there's, you know, a guy called NASA back in like 2015 and said, I'm doing a documentary. Can you send me video of the Earth as a ball moving in space? And they said, we don't have that. Like, why?
Yeah.
Why not just bring to Mars? You know?
Yeah, it's you know with the moon landing stuff started with me. I mean, I learned about it back with that Fox special back in the 90s. I watched that. And then I got on the Bad Astronomy. It was Phil Plait debunking the moon landings. I was getting into that. It's like, oh, it's all hoax. It's, you know, it's all BS. And then also I read that David McGowan series about wagging the moon doggy. I don't know if you guys have ever had the chance to read it, but
no.
That one was, you know, I did a series of videos on it. You'll have to watch.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of your videos on that. They're hilarious. I like when they tried to debunk you about the and then you ended up debunking. They ended up debunking the propulsion not lining up. That was awesome.
Yeah. So, but the wagging the moon doggy, that's one introduced me to what the actual lunar lander looked like. And, you know, in all our schooling, I never really realized how stupid that really was. I mean, it's obviously a prop. There's no way that thing could fly. No. So it's just starting from there, and 9/11 was, one of those ones that opened my eyes, seeing that everyone's coming out and saying, no, it's just because of office fires that Building 7 collapsed. And you're like, I'm sorry, but that's not real life.
Yeah.
And you start seeing that all our information is controlled. And, even the people that are supposedly on our side, like Alex Jones, things like that, you start realizing that they're all controlled opposition. And it's like, wow, it's been a fun path ever since, but lately it's getting harder. I mean, we're getting suppressed more, getting attacked more. I tell you, I didn't expect that little old me. I mean, I don't consider myself anybody special, but now they're starting to make lots of videos about me. And
yes, that's why I wanted to have you on, because I guess you must be, like, in their eyes, like a rarity. They operate sort of in the spiritual realm. They know what we're up against, and the way you put stuff together wakes up people that they don't want waking up. It's a spiritual battle. So the attacks towards you are spiritual, and they're designed to get you spiritually down too, so that the content you put changes, the stuff that you put out changes. And I've seen them change people. I've seen them change really good, level-headed truthers after just attacking them a few times, and then it gets to them. I don't know. It's really, because I've had it happen to me, and it just makes your heart race. It makes you angry.
Yeah. It brings up that spirit of debate that I don't want.
Yes. It's weird. It makes you like, I can almost sense when they're doing it too. I'll get this feeling, and I'm like, they're making a video about me. And then sure enough, one pops out. But
I'll tell you, that Simon Dan was attacking Josh for a while, and I was like, we got to have a debate with this. And then I was like, why am I getting angry? Why am I letting this paid person here, paid actor, bring me to anger?
I'll admit, they still make me angry.
Yeah. I can't even watch the videos. I get like,
it makes me sick in my stomach that anyone could go out and just lie. Just I don't understand it. I mean, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I make mistakes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure things out just like anybody else, but I don't deliberately ever try to deceive or lie or do anything like that. And so it's hard for me when I see them lying about me and saying, oh, he faked his test. Look at this. He picked up his camera. Someone's like, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, my whole family was there. I wasn't going to, hey kids, we're going to go fake my test now. I mean, just come on. It's
yeah.
I don't understand that. I don't understand the mentality. I was just actually posting a video as I was talking with you about it's an older video, but where they faked those, the long distance test from the Discovery Channel. Do you remember that with the helicopter that went down?
Yes.
And came back up. Anyway, it was an older video of mine, but it had the birds going across, and the exact same birds went across on both the ascending and descending of the helicopter, and 100% fake. There's no way you can do that. I mean, this just doesn't happen in reality. And it's just, again, shocking to me the level of effort they go to lying about this. But I guess this is one of the ultimate deceptions. I mean,
yeah.
Go ahead.
It's the only one where you have people like the debunkers that's their job. Like, I've never seen people do that for 9/11, for any other thing, except now, of course, the virus, they're starting to do things like that. But this is the only one where I've seen people devote their lives to it and get like heavily promoted and altering the search engines. And that's crazy. If they think it's so dumb, walk away. Like, don't devote your life to it. But they know
I would never do it.
Yeah. When I thought it was dumb, I was like, that's dumb. People have to be on drugs. I thought it was like a stoner new age type of movement where people were just so brain fried. They thought Earth was this flat disk you could fall off of. I had no clue. I never heard of a firmament other than the Bible. And when I heard that word, I just thought atmosphere. I never thought to question, why would he spend the entire second day making this firmament and putting stars in it? And if the firmament is the atmosphere, we've got stars in the atmosphere. I never put the clues together until I watched that video, and the Holy Spirit said, okay, look into this. And I was like, all right, let me go back to Genesis. Oh my goodness. Like, it's true.
Yeah. And Josh and I have been working on a video for about, 3-4 months now, and it's getting closer to being ready. I think my goal is to have it out next week, but it's called The Final Card. And a lot of people are asking, why do they lie? And I think most flat Earth documentaries just show that, hey, NASA's lying. And they show that, hey, tests prove the Earth doesn't curve the way they say it does. But I think the big stumbling block people have is answering that question. Why on earth would they go through all this money and trouble and time to lie about the shape of the earth? And the big answer people come up with is, oh, well, NASA makes money. But if that's the answer, that's really not that good of an answer. And it's not even remotely true. And it goes way, way back to, I mean, ancient Babylon. This lie is so big because of what it hides. You know, it hides creation and it hides the big deception. This alien invasion, they're talking about the Pentagon, which is the center of a pentagram, is talking about releasing alien information in June. So that's next month.
Oh, wow. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, the White House, Fox News, all these major news outlets are going, here's this official UFO footage from the Pentagon, and it's actually legit this time. And in June, they're going to do a full disclosure to the American public. So all this stuff that I was making this video, this documentary, to put together really good proofs to explain the ancient cosmology and the biblical cosmology, really, but to introduce it in a way that reveals why they're lying, because I don't think there's really a good flat earth documentary that does that. And this is the first one. Me and Josh we usually just do our own separate stuff and just share it with each other, but we've been working like crazy on this one. And
yeah, he's doing a lot of work on it. I'm just kind of giving him pointers and stuff. And it's good to have a critic look at your stuff, because I tell you what, when I'm doing videos, and then that's one of the reasons why we're having this hangout, so people can give some input and say, hey, look, add this or add that. And I think we're going to go through, I told them with the proofs, we need to set through and go through a lot of your stuff and just cut out little bits and pieces here and there and make it flow. Because I don't think, has anybody done a laser over water further than your 21 miles?
Yeah, well, according to the FE Core, did you watch that video from Decimal Z?
That one that just came out. I was watching it. I didn't get to finish it because I've been kind of.
Well, it's that was back in 2018. They got 25 miles.
Wow. Okay,
so
I didn't see that.
They hit it. This is the first time they put out the video. Come on, guys, get me a little faster next time. But I'm happy they did it. But 25 miles on that one. Wow. I swear I caught that glimpse on that 30-mile one, but it wasn't enough that I could put out a video on it. So
yeah,
I don't want to be dishonest about it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, they always they put out a challenge to spot an object at 50 miles away or whatever from a height about like that. And if a laser can't cut through that much light, hardly, and a non-reflective object is not going to cut through that much atmosphere.
We were hoping to try an 80-mile one, but this was going to be a little higher.
Yeah.
But I was going to be on way past the Great Salt Lake on the other side. He was going to be on the other side of the Great Salt Lake. I was going to shoot from some ghost town or something. That's something we're trying to work on right now. 80 miles. That would be a fun one. But that we can't get so low to the water with that one. There's too much, moisture in the air. When you get too much disturbance down there, it's very hard to get a laser go that far. I was happy to get the 21 miles and the 19 miles.
That's the furthest I had seen at that point. That's insane.
I do know the Salt Lake group, not Salt Lake group, but the California group, the research group. They have pulled off. They did 25 miles across land. So that I think maybe 26. We'll find out, but they're making that series of videos on that one. So that one I think might be the best. So we'll see. That was across the Bonneville Salt Flats from one road way off to another one. But it's great stuff. I mean, I only want other people to just get further and further, just to where, I mean, come on, how much times are you going to cite the refraction fairies that come in and just remove the curvature, make it disappear? Yeah. It's absolutely asinine. But I love the direction it's going.
Now, I don't know if you guys have seen this show. As I was researching for this new documentary we were putting out, Jack Parsons, and I had heard Rob Skiba talk about this, the people who started NASA, Jack Parsons, who started the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. There's a show, and I believe it was on CBS, but it was called Strange Angel. And it goes into the occult rituals that he did to open up these portals. Because, the modern alien abduction era started at Area 51, where Jack Parsons was doing these Amalantra sex magic rituals. And there was a show, and it even has Aleister Crowley as a character in this show. And they're showing all of these insane rituals these guys were doing. And it's about Jack Parsons. It's a show based on his life. And I didn't realize how public that was. I thought this was more like conspiracy theorists saying it. I didn't realize that he was a well-known occultist and Satanist, and that was something he was proud of. And it's just
isn't it seem to follow them?
Oh,
I mean,
like,
you see those astronauts holding, devil horn signs, stuff like that. I'm sorry, I don't gather in a group and flash devil horn signs. That just doesn't happen. Anyway, did you see that video with the professor talking? I don't know if you saw that one, the Italian professor. I put it out maybe a week ago or something. It's fine if you haven't. I'll give you the main gist. But he basically said that the origins of the modern astronomy are from sun worshippers, and the Pythagoras and them were sun worshippers, and it's all about the occult. Anyway, I thought that was a fascinating thing. He said you can see it in, like, he found it was like 3 dolphins in a circle, and he's like, they formed a 666 on Pythagoras. I'm sorry if I messed that up. But one of their books, Galileo's first book had a 666 symbol on it. Wow. And he was like, what is this? He was just into astronomy at that time, just a professor. And he said, why in the world is there a 666 symbol on this astronomy book? And that's funny, when he started jumping into it. But go ahead.
Pythagoras, I used to share this story with my kids, and probably even before, I teach algebra, geometry type of stuff. But even before I was into flat earth, I thought it was strange that these math people like Pythagoras, he had this following, almost like a cult. And there was a story, I was teaching irrational numbers, and there was another follower and just a student apparently, but he said there must be irrational numbers. Well, Pythagoras disagreed with him, and Pythagoras had these followers who took this guy and drowned him and killed him because he disagreed with Pythagoras. I'm like, what? Why would you kill someone for disagreeing with you? What kind of
cult stuff?
Yeah, that's pretty strange.
Yeah, they were all really weird when you look into who measured the distance of the sun. You start finding these weird people like Tycho Brahe. He was actually a geocentric believer, and then the person who killed him, who was the person that they alleged could have killed him to take his work, because the person that got his work, it was some, oh god, it might have been somebody like Galileo or some popular Kepler or somebody. It was like, they're just odd characters. They're all part of either the Royal Society, some sort of Jesuits. Yeah, Jesuits or Freemasons. They're one of the 3.
Yeah, I think it might be the Luciferians that might run them all. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's something I've always, I don't know if you ever saw that quote from the Lucifer magazine back in the 1800s. I've shared it a couple times, but you ask, why did they lie? And I think the primary reason was stated in there that people no longer believe in the Bible. That's the old astronomy. The new astronomy is that we revolve around the sun, all of that. The Bible is outdated. No longer need to believe anything stated in the Bible as creation, because it's all phony. We believe in this new, heliocentric model. But I think that was one of the primary reasons to start to get people to move away from a literal interpretation of the Bible was one of their first goals. I also think it's, you could always say maybe they're hiding land, but I'm not sure if that's the case. I do think it's a possibility. I'm not going to say, even if you believe in a dome, there still could be other lands. But I was thinking that psychological matrix, just like Big Brother in 1984, he forced the guy to actually believe 2 + 2 = 5 against all common sense. He firmly believed it at the end. He's like, yeah, 2 + 2 = 5 because he's been tortured into believing it. But that's what they want. Once they have that ultimate control where you deny your senses, deny everything that you can see and measure and all that. If you can deny all of that and believe they're nonsense, they have ultimate control over you. So I think it's a ultimate control thing as well. But I also think that some of these people that are attacking us aren't necessarily paid. And that's also a weird thought, is that I also think it's demonic control.
It is.
It's something I don't want to say, but you start hearing from, you start talking with them, and then you just see evilness. There's no sense of wanting truth, nothing in it. It's just, I hate you. I want to, I kill you if I could get a hold of you. I mean, it's dark stuff. And so
we experienced that. We experienced that with a guy, and they only got mad when you mentioned the creator, the father. When you mentioned I could have talked about Buddha and they'd have been like, no, okay. But when you mention the one that they're against, and it's usually there's a reason why. And a lot of them, it's falsities. They think that God's to blame for their relative being handicapped or some, like they have some reason. And when they start talking, it reveals that. And I'm like, okay, I see where you're coming from now. Because I was like you. I thought, why would they devote their life to this? But they're on a mission to remove that creation model, and because they're against our creator, they're against him in every way. And so they see that this is bringing people close. It's waking. I mean, atheists are coming to this and going, oh, there is a creator, and Christians are coming to it and going, man, I'm going to go back to Genesis because
it's
awesome. It discredited. I thought, Genesis is cool, but it's probably just not really, 100% accurate, because we, of course, know certain things. But once you find out, then you start reading it as a literal history book,
Yeah, that was one of those shockers, that Genesis was more accurate than my astronomy book that I had from college. So that's a shocker. But
and I was just I was listening to some guys talk the other day, and they were saying how isn't it funny that there's a big movement of people saying life is just a simulation. We're just all this simulation. There's nothing real, and blah, blah, almost like this Matrix type stuff. And everyone just goes, oh, okay. But then if you say the Earth is flat, they're like, no way, no, that's impossible.
Well, what's so funny about that is the idea. Well, what if it's a simulated flat Earth?
Yeah.
Why are you opposed to that?
But a physical flat Earth is impossible. Only a simulated one.
And I have to say that as well with the idea of why is science against this? In my opinion, science should be sure, go ahead, test it. It should be totally indifferent to this. It should be always accepting any new ideas, any new measurements, and going, well, there's something, let's look into that further. But you can see that there's a top down, hate it, destroy it. There's no level of acceptance whatsoever. I did that video as like nature's flat Earth schemes. But, here we have flat earthers start discovering, for example, that we see way too far, or that all these things like the sun and the moon appearing the same size when they eclipse. And they say, oh, that's just coincidence. It's just the right distance, and everything's just coincidence. Yeah. I can see 25 miles across this body of water, a little laser that's 5 feet off the water. But that's just coincidence that the refraction just happened to be perfectly changed as goes right over the hump. And it's like, come on, it's getting nonsense here. I mean, how much faith do you have to have in your heliocentric belief system to accept that? But anyway.
Yeah, and you had the reflection of the laser on the water. And when I was watching your footage and you said, oh, so the reflection on the water hopped the curve too. To me, I'm seeing it from the side, and I'm thinking, even from the most debunked refractive perspective, there's no way that reflection went up and then around. Like, it's impossible. I'm trying to picture how it happened. And even from a debunker perspective, and that's the way I try to look at stuff, is like, how can they debunk that? You can't. I mean,
yes, you can. The conditions are right. What you're seeing is a mirage.
So I've heard that so many times now that it's come on. That's why I call it the refraction fairies. They always fix everything.
Yeah. They always ask you, well, do you know the refractive index? It's 3 miles below the curve. Do you know how much it's refracted though?
Yeah. 20.
But notice how they stole the word refraction. I think that's another fascinating thing. I've always wanted to make a video on that, but they stole that word. Refraction, it distorts. It makes things worse. It doesn't create this vision enhancer. It doesn't remove giant bulges of earth and water. It doesn't do that. But they said, oh, what's the refraction index? Well, what do you mean? Is it bend this way, that way, this way? Refraction index they automatically assume that means it goes over the curve. How? Yep. Where'd you get that belief system? There's no, that's not supported in any sort of science whatsoever.
Yeah.
Oh, Bob's. He's a message from, hey, Bob. Great work on that narration on that 25-mile laser test. Is great job there.
That was a really good job, man. The narration you did was awesome.
Yeah, that was excellent. I enjoyed that one. I almost hate to mirror it because I don't want to be stealing their awesome stuff. But
I used to don't mirror stuff. I'll do that one.
Yeah, no, it's I don't know. I guess I'm a little crazy that way, but
we have to share though. I don't know how you find all the stuff you find, like that one you just shared with the Canadians doing the one across the road, where it actually proves the sun is close when you combine it with the stick, the guy on his bicycle that went around and put the sticks. He did all that work when he could have just got a laser in a car.
I do like that the guy said it's not a joke. Yes, it is. It is a joke. I mean, you're relying on so many presuppositions on how the sun works. It works under either model, flat or, I mean, even Neil deGrasse Tyson said that. So, I mean, come on. Sticks and shadows. You know, I actually had someone from the Air Force Academy contact me and go, we got an experiment that we're going to, you know, it's going to settle it once for all. We need a flat earther on, you know, to get on board with us so that we can actually work together and get this settled once and for all. I was like, great. That's a great idea. What's your experiment? Well, we got 2 sticks in a I was like, no. I said, you guys have access to radar. You have access to all this amazing equipment out there that we should have line of sight equipment that we could go out and we could do so much testing with. And you want to do sticks and shadows? What's wrong with you people?
Yeah, because the other stuff would debunk them much quicker.
Yeah, you're always expecting this really, really good proof. Anytime you go to a science article or anything, it's always the same 5 or 6 go-to moves that they have. There's never anything new.
Yeah, but you asked how I find these. A lot of times they're emailed to me. You know, I've tried to open myself up to, you know, getting emails from other people. try to read them. Mm-hmm. You know, you start getting a lot of them, and unfortunately, it's a little hard sometimes because I don't get paid to do this. This is all just on my free time. Yeah. So, you know, but I try to go through, you know, work people did, and unfortunately, that's where that whole situation of me getting tricked by the Wolfie cult.
Yeah.
But
you need to get, I wish you had some support though. I would love to see you get tons of support so you can, I wish you could do, if you did this full time, like
I you know, there's that thought that would be so awesome to do that. But then there's the counter thought. Well, if I get paid on it now, I have to take that position.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I always want to be open to truth. And and if all of a sudden I take on a paid position, then I'm an advocate for a certain position. I'm no longer a truth seeker. And I fear that it might cloud my judgment. So, if, you know, I don't believe in the ball earth at all, but if all of a sudden some impossible proof is thrown in my eyes, and I have to, you know, if I have to switch sides, I don't want to be thinking I'm going to lose my job if I do this.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's at that point now. I'm not really worried about that. So,
yeah, that's kind of where we're at too, because we feel like time's just running out, and seeing how heavily censored you are and how everything is changing.
Yeah.
We have to have some way of communicating, you know, in the future.
Yeah. Who knows? They might shut us all off on our emails and everything else.
It's tough when somebody like you vanishes and I'm trying to find you. It's like, I'm requiring other truthers to find me. Like somebody sent me a link and was like, here's his new channel. Here he is. And I'm like, oh, thank goodness, you know, at least he's there now. But I don't understand. People don't believe me when I tell them. I'm like, I have someone I follow that does experiments and it shares those and gets deleted from YouTube. Like, what world are we living in?
Why does that happen?
Where you share experiments, you're not putting out any gun violence or anything like that. It's just like, put a laser over water. Let's delete that guy. You know,
with that current scamdemic going on as well. that's so much totalitarianism that's just in the last couple of years. It's just so shocking to me. And I hope you guys are wrong about that new, what they might try next with alien invasion. But you remember that movie? Did you watch the Marvel Avengers with who is the bad guy? Thanos.
Thanos, yeah.
I was talking to Rob Skiba about that at the conference, but I was actually wondering whether they think Thanos is their reaction to Jesus. That their view of Jesus is that he's going to come here and kill half of the population. It didn't make any sense to me why he would want to just kill half the population, all that stuff, and that they're going to send off their people to fight him.
But that whole the Avengers movie, I've noticed a trend. I got bored with going to movies after a while because I was like, it's always this giant alien world destructive force. Right. They need this impossible win. And I'm like, why does Hollywood keep showing us these global catastrophe movies, you know, where it's like War of the Worlds, the DC Justice League movie, it's the same thing, these CGI world ending bad guys, and it's over and over and over. And I'm like, they're setting us up, mentally conditioning us to just expect that's what's going to happen, you know?
Yeah.
It's frightening. Every movie. And that's one of those things that where I became a flat earther. All of a sudden, once I clicked and I started noticing the globe and everything.
Everything.
I mean, I was like watching Disney cartoons like was it Beauty and the Beast? She's sitting right next to a globe. The globe's everywhere. And it was like, what does that have to do with anything? But you start watching, it's every movie. Every movie. But
Cartoon.
I just watched a cartoon last night with my girls. It was on Netflix. It was about some of the robots taking over as a cartoon. And of course, they showed the globe for no reason, and that the people are being blown into space for no reason. Had nothing to do with the story. Then at the end, I was so shocked because the girl was like falls in love with another girl. Like the mom comes out and says, "Oh, so are you coming out now with your new relationship with this girl?" It was the girl and the girl, and it was like, that's in the first time I've seen that in a cartoon.
Wow.
Anyway, I was like, oh my God. I mean, it's so mad because we actually enjoyed this show as a family. And then all of a sudden that happened. It was like, I don't think I could ever watch anything anymore. It's just, it's getting so disgusting. The propaganda.
Yep.
It's vile.
The propaganda and the message they keep spreading to our kids. That's what's killing me. I have a 7-year-old daughter who she wants to watch whatever's on there and whatever's popular. And my wife's kind of more open to it than I am, but it's like, there's these shows on witchcraft and stuff. And I'm like, and I'm not really big on like, no, you can't watch anything that has anything to do with that. But It's like, when you start seeing all the symbolism they're showing our kids and all the stuff they're talking about, it's like, they're really trying to promote a certain set of evils to our kids.
Yeah. I have to say, my son, he's 17 years old, but he has grown to really love your channel, guys. I just have to say,
awesome.
He's gone through almost every one of your videos. He shares me your videos. He's like, I really liked what they said here. And I just have to say thank you for that. You've actually inspired him a lot, where he's been going out and talking a lot more about True Earth to friends and stuff like that. And so,
dude, that's awesome because his age group is pivotal. Huge pivotal. Having people at that age group being warriors for the people around him, and that's who. That's who we're trying to target too, because they are really good with social media. And right now, social media is being used to get them under a spell. Like we work with high schoolers every single day, and I guess I've never been outside of education since kindergarten, because we were in school, and then as soon as we got out of school, we were teaching. And so I've watched generations of people change spiritually and physically and all these different changes. But one of the big things, when I first started teaching, was rap and the introduction of music videos on YouTube. Before we had to watch MTV when I was growing up, if we wanted to see a music video, and if you missed it, too bad. And now they can watch them, and they are promoted by YouTube or whatever platform they're on. And a big one now we were talking about before we came on is TikTok. I've seen that change kids. Even my shy kids are getting up and dancing in front of the cameras and doing things. It's teaching them to be seductive. It's doing all this stuff. And yet you still have truthers going onto those platforms and sharing stuff to wake people up at these things. It's a war. It's a war against these little young, precious kids, especially the women right now.
Yeah. And that's where I try to keep going. Cause what's my reason to keep going is just, I feel like we're trying to do the right thing here, trying to stop this evil enslavement that's happened and is happening. So,
yeah. So how many kids do you have? I'm being nosy. You said
it's all right. I have 5 children.
Nice.
5
I've got 4. He's only got 1.
I've got 1.
Yeah, I always get that. Oh, are you a teenager in your parents' basement? It's like, no.
5 kids. So, your oldest is the oldest 17?
Yeah, my youngest is 1.
One?
Little 1.5 maybe.
Congrats, man. Boy or girl?
Girl. So I have two boys, 3 girls.
Dang.
I have 1 girl. That stopped me dead in my tracks.
Yeah, 3 girls though. At the end, it's been so much drama. Oh, so much drama.
I've got 1 girl
screaming all the time.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you're like me, but the reason I don't put out way more videos is because of the 1 girl. She's 4 years old, but she is a force. She's a boss, and she's adorable. And she was, what did she call me the other day? Her slave?
Yeah. And he always used to give me a hard time about my daughter. He's like, you need to be more stern with her. You need to do this. And I'm like, wait till you have a girl. It'll change everything, because it's just different than having a boy. And yeah, boys are a little bit easier. Girls are precious. And, but man, they are very good. Very good at being bosses. You ever have to take the girls to school? That's always, my daughter's only 7, and she has to have her hair in a certain kind of ponytail up high on her head. And I'm 20 times I'll put it up, and she'll go, "It's a lump in it. I can't go like this." And I'll have to redo it over and over and over. And I'm like, "You're late for school. We have to go."
Yeah.
Yeah, we're straight homeschoolers, so though we don't have to worry about
You're so lucky. I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
My kid's back and forth on, is the earth flat or a globe? Every time she goes back to school, she's like, "No, I'm pretty sure it's a globe now. My teacher said." And I'm like, "Oh, you're only 7. This is a little much for you. I'll wait."
Yeah, we shelter my kids. My wife. I'm so blessed to have a wife that will not let them watch things on TV that are deceitful, that have magic, witchcraft, any of that stuff.
Awesome.
My wife's like, "Nope." So I'm very blessed that she's like that, and on.
I wish I could be that way. I mean, I'm just not so strong like that.
Yeah,
I should be. I get it. I get it.
Yeah, it's tough. While you're here, Ben, this is still kind of surreal to me hearing your voice in real time. Anybody got any questions for him? I've been trying to scroll through the comments.
I see Paula. Is that Paula from LOP? Could you respond?
Yeah, is that Paula? Level Up? She said, "Hi, business." Yeah, let's see. Had some good people joining in the chat. Wobbly Boost. I said Wobbly Boost. He was in Australia. I got to meet him. He was living up like in a rainforest on top of this mountain that was just stuck in the clouds.
Oh, wow.
Such a beautiful place. He said hi.
Somebody said, he said, "Ben sounds like Rob Skiba." And I said, laughing because somebody.
There's a new conspiracy. Rob
I've
and I are the same.
I've never seen them in the same room together.
No, but somebody called Josh as an insult. They go, "You're just a diet Rob Skiba."
Yeah, I said that's actually a compliment. Thanks.
Yeah, every time I take that one.
I loved reading the insults too, though. They kind of cracked me up. Some of them hit home, though. I was like, that was pretty harsh. That was pretty good.
Yeah, somebody was like telling me, "You look like a young Jeffrey Epstein." I was like, "What?" That's a lot. I appreciate that.
I gotta say, my toleration for the trolls is I have almost none anymore. I ban almost all of them unless they have something intelligent to say.
Yeah,
I mean, they got really put up some effort. If it's another one of those, well, refraction, you didn't take that in consideration, they're gone. Yeah. I don't care. I don't care anymore.
Yeah. It was crazy when I first started doing it back before censorship. There were a mix of about 80% trolls to like 20% skeptic, or maybe 90 to 10. It was pretty rough. And I would just remember taking all that heat. And one day I used to like put these little smart replies and, send it that way. And one day God was just like, send them love and see what happens. Just send them some kind words. And it's not going to hurt me doing that. I'm not getting hurt at all, and kind of seeing more of the eternal effects of that. And almost, not common, but
I've seen you do that with a few of the trolls. And I got to say, that's impressive. Yeah. And I got to say again that I have to work on that. I get angry.
Yeah,
Josh has more patience. Yeah, with stuff
it's not me, because on my own, I want to be witty. I want to like have some good comeback, and it's always like the Father's going, just try this, be patient, try this.
Yeah, very good.
Don't stoop to that level, because it really does me no good to like show like, oh, I'm smarter, I'm more educated, or because I mean you're educated, and people will be like, oh, you dropped out of high school, but like I'm pretty sure you went to college, like.
Yeah, I got 8 years post grad. I mean 8 years. So 4 years college, 4 years after. So
that's insane. And a lot.
But I'm not using it as any bragging thing. I don't think. Like I said, that smartest person I know, I don't think he finished high school. Absolutely brilliant. Has like 100 inventions, but didn't finish high school. So I don't consider that like, oh, look at me, I'm so smart because I did that. No. I'm just saying I went through their process.
There's a question for you.
Somebody said, what is his thoughts on the 24-hour sun in Antarctica?
It was kind of an interesting thing. I was just actually working on some of that. But my thoughts are like, I think you guys talked with him last time, that guy, and he said that there's a 24-hour light. Now, I've seen the 24-hour sun videos. I've seen too much fakery with them. Yeah. So unfortunately for me, I cannot trust that anymore. Is it possible that there is? I think it is. Does it absolutely prove the globe? No, it doesn't. And not in my opinion. It says that maybe we don't understand how the sun works as well as we think we do, that maybe things are a little bit more complex. I know I was just actually sent a text off to Globebusters asking them, just with some, I think it was, Globebusters, but I'm not sure if the coffee cup caustic explains it all, how there's maybe just extra lighting around there. I don't know. I really don't know. Unfortunately, there are too many liars that have tried to trick us. And so now I'm at the point of, what do you trust? I unfortunately, I got to take a flight. I got to go down there, but I'm not going to sit there and beg people for money. But that's the only way I'm going to believe it anymore, is if I set up my camera and film it myself, because too many liars. And it's, in this day and age, 99.9% of the people, even in the flat earth, could be bought out. So we shouldn't ever follow one person. So, if all of a sudden, and I'm not saying, mentioning names, but say someone that's famous gets paid $1 million to change their position, they would probably, right? So if that happens, we just, always, you got to follow the evidence. But I see Bob says he's going to explain that to me. Okay, thank you. It's just I went through this one video of it was it's not 24-hour sun, but it was a time lapse of in Argentina, southern Argentina. Is it Uruguay? I forget the name of that city. But anyway, it's absolutely ridiculous. The guy's saying he's like, it's in the north right now, and then the sun travels a little bit. I mean, just comes down actually a little bit, and then the guy says now it's in the south. It's still over the same building. And he's absolutely said now it's in the south. And then the strange thing is then it cut, like it hooked at the end. Like it came straight down and then hooked. That's why I'm like, I don't know. I don't, some things are above my head. I hope Bob can, clue it in. I have to say, I'm not the smartest person out there. I try.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. To me, I always just think, it's so complex. It's kind of like DNA. We've never seen the double helix. We've never seen what we live on from any distance that's great enough to make.
Is that right? We haven't seen the double helix?
Never. That's insane. We don't have a clear photo of the double helix.
So how do they know it exists? How do you know? Do you believe
it's kind of like the globe. How do we know it is what they say it is? What if it's something totally different? Somebody mentioned
don't put me down that rabbit hole.
Yeah. Well, that's what because I've been trying to get on a kick where I only show my students real pictures of things. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to be talking about DNA this week. Let me find a real picture of DNA. Oh my goodness, there's no real pictures of DNA. It's all animations. And I go, let me type in, most detailed picture of DNA, double helix. And it's like this, it looks like a hair under a microscope. It's like, this is the clearest image we have. And I'm like, so now they're telling us they're sending a single strand or RNA into our bodies. And it's like, we can't see it. And it's actually a genius. I was talking to him about, or somebody, I don't know if it was him, about how genius it is to market something to somebody and sell it to them. And it's something no one's ever seen and go, it's in there. Trust me, put this in, inject this into the whole world. And this is what's going to happen. And there's no video evidence of this because you can't verify it. I can't take it out and do something no one's ever done.
It's got microcomputers. Go ahead, drink it.
Yeah. It's a genius way to make lots of money and do whatever you want. These alchemists, whatever they're doing. I would say genius. It's just evil.
No, with respect to flat smack, be careful who you trust. But, trust in God, trust in the evidence. Follow that to the best of your ability, because people can always be bought off or just being deceived. That happens. So
curse. I think it says, "Cursed is the man who puts his trust in man." And I've been doing all sorts of Bible studies and learning about things. And my wife asked me, "Well, who do you follow, Peter or Paul or whatever?" And the answer is, I don't. Once you start going that route where you start following a person, you create a denomination. And when I see that word denomination, you can just switch two letters around and you have demon in nation or demon in action. Ation just means like an action. So it's like, I try to stay away from that. And so it really broadens who you can fellowship with as far as people. And it's tough seeing so many different places around that are like church buildings, and none of the people from across the street know the other people because they have a different sign.
I don't want to be that way.
Yeah, it's tough. So that's about not trusting man. And Dan Schumann says, love your work, guys. What would you put in a time capsule to be unearthed 50 years from now? Probably a lot of the videos from Taboo Conspiracy. 50 years. Put them on, I don't know what would be reading the devices at that point. But,
I kind of want to go in that time capsule myself. I want to see what's going to happen 50 years from now. But I actually fear what's happening. It's
scrapbooks of what we've compiled is true, and that way people can go, "Wow, that was the real history." A Bible.
I don't want to say any like specific, but try vaguely speaking. But do you think there is a depopulation agenda happening right now?
Oh yeah.
There was this guy from the Pfizer, the ex-vice president, the physician. He came out and said that he sees no other reasonable reason behind this other than the depopulation agenda.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's so frightening. So frightening. But I consider it the mark of the beast. And I actually call it, I say it's blasphemy to say that God did not make our immune system strong enough, that we need to alter our genes in order to no, that's blasphemy in my opinion. So
you're altering the breath of life, something that's in motion. And when you see that video of the cell division with that special dye, and you can see it just in motion, you're sending something into that, and that's the most, I guess I can think of a word for it, but you just don't want to. That's the most private part of your body to send something into and it's like, here we go, and we're trusting that it puts faith in man, and that's where I think it's sad. We're going to watch a lot of people how this unfolds, and it's sad because people are going to make dumb decisions. They're going to do dumb things, and even Christians. I know a lot of Christians who have that little banner on their Facebook profile now that's like, "I've been vaccinated," and so it's
that's where I don't get it. Here you believe in God, you believe in the Lord, that He's created you, but He didn't do a very good job on my immune system, so I got to fix it. I mean, what?
And you're
how can you justify that? I mean, that's totally. I mean, that's blasphemy. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and you got these people. It's funny. I always like to think about how far we've come as a society, where we go, you take this vaccine and it could kill. We know it's killed a few thousand people, right? Or it's made a lot of people that we know, almost every one of them gets really, really sick. And I'm like, that used to be the way you knew somebody was poisoning you. They give you a drink and you almost die, and you're like, I'm being poisoned. Now it's like,
that's
it's
true.
Working. I feel terrible, but that's kicking in my immune system. Right there.
A friend of mine said it was really strong medicine.
Over there, people died. That was just because their immune system kicked in too hard. Maybe you got to think about this stuff.
Scary direction we're headed, because if that is the depopulation agenda that we feared from the Georgia Guidestones, that kind of stuff, if that is what's happening, what's coming next, they're going to blame us.
I saw a funny picture. It was
blame us.
Jen Murray I follow her on Instagram. Jen Murray Flat Earth. She's a thing. Awesome. It was like, so many millions of people have taken this vaccine in America, and then it was like in a totally unrelated picture, and it had the Georgia Guidestones underneath. Well, those Guidestones, though, when you look into them, it's unified. All the people that built it, it wasn't just Freemasons. It was, the Rosicrucians, and I started looking at how the Guidestones are shaped just like the UN headquarters. That stuff sort of kind of got my wheels turning.
Oh, I never knew that one. I never thought about that.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought you might have seen that video. It has the connection. It's like they're like 666 miles apart almost, to the UN headquarters to the Guidestones. It's like 665. It's close, but I'd seen a meme that said it was the 666, and so I looked it up. It's pretty close. I'm sure there's some monument there that it's exactly with, but the guy put it there because of its relation to the sun. Like, they already know who put that up. Some documentary came out, I think it was called Dark Clouds Over Elberton, and they solved the mystery. The guy that did it, he's passed away now, but the calendar that they put, somebody put 2014 in there, and I thought, that's interesting. 2014's came and gone, and but it was according to the Julian calendar. It was what the sun god worshippers used, the Mayans and stuff, and so it was like, now is about the time when that was supposed to be the end of the world according to their Mayan calendar. So I thought they're all planning something. Those end of the world.
You got Ted Turner. He came out and absolutely said we need to kill like 50% of the population. And then you got Bill Gates saying something very similar to that. I mean, and then now they're going out and promoting this vaccine. Oh, I should watch what I say.
Yeah.
But they go out and promote these things, this injection or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, these people really believe there are too many people and that we need to kill half the population. Shouldn't you be at least a little concerned? I mean, just common sense, a little concerned when someone comes out and tells you to do that when they just said, "Oh, we need to kill half the population."
Yeah, somebody goes, yeah, they said, they go, you shouldn't take medical advice from somebody who believes the world is overpopulated. And they're like, I shouldn't have to explain myself on that.
Exactly.
Yeah, when they asked him why he got started with the medical stuff, he said, well, my dad was the head of Planned Parenthood. That's how I got my start.
Yeah, that was also going to mention
child sacrifice company.
Yeah, I mean, he had a Planned Parenthood. I mean, total eugenics, total killing children. I mean, and you're going to let that guy inject you?
Yeah. I saw where his wife
sanity.
They were doing an interview and his wife was like, we need to vaccinate black people first. I'm like, oh, great. They're racist too. They want to just. Bill Gates also put out a GMO population of mosquitoes. And when you read the science article, it says these mosquitoes have been modified to give vaccine as opposed to giving you a virus. I'm like, so you don't even have to worry about forcing us to do it. You can just have mosquitoes give it to us. Like, that's crazy. There's
I actually wonder if they have rules. Like, I sometimes wonder, why do they reveal like so many mistakes, NASA and things like that, and that they have certain rules that they have to reveal so much.
They have to show us.
And I think in this one, maybe they have to get your permission. It might be their rule. Like if you did a bit of research, thought a little bit independently, you figure out that maybe I shouldn't do that. But it's maybe like their strange Luciferian rule that they got to get you to do it voluntarily to do it. Just a thought.
Yeah. And we're watching people, and the sad part is the youth being influenced and doing it and following along, and it's tough. I mean, I just walked past I was going through Walmart and I didn't have a mask on, and there was a woman pushing her kids in a shopping cart, and all the kids in unison, when they walked past me, they saw me without a mask and they go, quick, put your mask against your face. And they all started holding their mask. Oh yeah. I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah. He reminded me, we were at Walmart and looking for something, and this lady from the pharmacy or something, she pops up around the corner and goes, have you guys had the vaccine? And I looked at her and I was like, no. And I didn't know who she was. And then I saw she was wearing the gear, the Walmart outfit. And I was like, no. And I thought she was going to say, well, put on a mask. And she goes, do you want to come get it now? I was like, no. And then so we started having a conversation with a guy in the store about it. He's like, are y'all getting it? We're like, nope. He's like,
did you see that Silver Shop won't serve people that have been vaccinated? I thought that was a pretty funny idea.
It makes sense when you look at what's happening. You've literally got people walking around producing a part of this. And that's what we assume, but they release it. You shed that is actually a thing. And it's hard to talk about this stuff. I'm not sure what YouTube is going to claim, but we need to say the word safe and effective a few times there to throw off that. Safe and effective.
Yeah, I hope I don't give you guys a strike.
I know.
But it's hard to talk about what's going on in the world without talking about this nonsense.
Yeah, our videos will be much better if we had no censorship. They really pushed us at our employment taking this thing, and they were like, we're reassuring you, if you have any questions, come ask us and we'll assure you that it's totally safe. And then all of a sudden it's the one that they were advertising to us is the one that just got canceled, like, oh yeah, it's totally safe, come ask me if you need questions. I talked a coworker out of it too. He was about to do it that day. He's like, my wife wants me to do it, and I just started showing him pictures and telling him stuff. I said, I was like, you're probably having convictions is why, because he's a Christian, and I was like, just go with what you feel is right. Don't do it, and he's like, okay. And so he didn't do it. I was like, yes, he'll be around for a few more years. Now he can't get his passport, you jerk. I know. It's tough for him. His wife's family is up in Hawaii, and they can't go there unless they've got the shot. I know they just now, that's where my wife's family's from. And it's like, now you can't go there without the shot. And that's what she was saying was, what if they tell us we can't go? I'm going to have to get it. And I said, well, you're going to go without me if you go, because...
Yeah, you see the university starting to require it, stuff like that. It's scary because serious persecution might be on the horizon here soon.
Yeah, and I think that's why they have the quota, is because if they can get a certain amount to do that, then they can start doing the persecution. When it's like 50-50, you really can't turn the
persecution card up. So they have that quota.
Especially when you got a lot of hillbillies with guns.
Yeah. No, I do believe, like, I think we've had this, I don't know if you've had it too, but this urgent sense that, like, we've got to do stuff. It's about to get bad. And I just can't shake it. Usually I can walk around and go, okay, I feel good now. But it's been about a solid month and a half or two where I've just felt like it's about to get real. We can't wait. We have to get everybody ready. And it's just almost time's running out. And it's, especially next month. I think he feels like next month will probably be the big.
I feel like next month something big is coming. And I was telling him this documentary we've been working on like crazy, the final card that shows what's coming with this fake alien invasion. It's been put on me heavy. Get this out so people can at least see it. So when it comes, they'll know what it actually is. And I think that's where all this is headed, is to a huge, huge event that's coming. And I just don't get, a lot of people are saying there's going to be a mass awakening and everything's going to go back to good again, but something tells me that's not going to happen. I hope it does. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, it would be nice to have some more good years for our kids. I tell my son, I'm like, man, I'm sorry you're having to live through all this. I knew it was going to be soon, but I didn't know that it was going to be in your lifetime that this was going to be happening.
Yeah, who would have thought that all of our kids would be wearing masks, things like that, just a few years ago. Mm-hmm. What they've managed to accomplish just in this little bit of time.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I just saw that they have that new order in Canada where they're going to come in and shut down all those churches that are still functioning. They got the police order to shut them all down. I mean, absolute breaking every convention on human rights. I mean, their own constitution, Bill of Rights. I mean, I don't know that Canada has. I think they have a Bill of Rights, but every convention, it violates everything. But they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Where are the courts to protect us? Where are the courts? Where are the lawyers? I mean, who's protecting us? Nobody is.
Nope, not at all. And some of the cops over there in Canada, I heard that a few of them are saying we don't want to follow these orders, and it's a few, but we need more. If you're a cop and you're listening, fight it. Don't follow orders. Your job is not worth taking away someone's right to worship and fight the battles we're up against. These are the end times, and they're seeing so many prophecies being fulfilled. It's ridiculous.
Yes, very frightening.
Let's see. Anybody else got any questions? I know Ben's probably got to go. It's been almost an hour and 7 minutes.
Yeah, I'd like to take my kids to a playground again. I'm always, I hate to say it, I don't like to sit very long. I go in spurts. I get a couple hours and I'm off. Then I'm good. Also, I suffer from lower back pain, and surprisingly, sitting at a computer is hard for me.
Yeah,
I have to be up and moving.
You got lower back pains?
Yeah.
I had is it like a disc problem?
Something over that. Something. I mean, I've been through chiropractors a million times. No one could fix it. It looks like it might have broke it when I was a kid.
Well, I can tell you, I had since 2006, I got dropped I had an injury. I was at the Olympic Training Center and I got dropped on my back real hard. I had bulging discs and disc problems in my lower back from 2006 until 2 years ago. And I was always hanging upside down from my little inversion table. I was always holding the plank position, all the things that helped. And I could not sit because I would just be in discomfort.
Right.
And I was praying. This is just a little quick story on this. I was praying for my mom to be healed of cancer. And I was doing a video on healings on my Grace and Truth channel. And I was listening to all these people who had been healed. And I was just praying about healing, reading about healing in the Bible. And my mom did not believe that God wanted to heal her because of things that she hadn't done in her life or things that she had done that were bad. And I was praying for her to be healed. And I'm driving down the road in my car, and I'm in total discomfort. When your back just really tightens up and it's in your hips and stuff. And I was like, oh God, please let her feel like she's worthy to be healed. And as I was praying this out loud by myself in my car, I almost heard God say, you're in total discomfort because of your back. And you're just going to live like this forever because you don't believe I'm going to heal you. Like, why are you praying for your mom to be healed? And so at that moment, I just put my hand on my back and I just said, God, heal my back right now. And all of a sudden I felt like this, it was like an icy hot, just like this crazy, like relief. And I was like, did I just get healed right here in this car? As I'm driving to pick up my mom. And I couldn't speak. I was walking through Walmart. We go sit down to eat lunch later. And I'm like, just kind of in shock because I felt the release of this pressure that I've had since 2006, and my wife said, what is wrong with you? And I said, I think, because I'm not usually speechless, right? I said, I think God just healed my back. And that was 2 years ago. And here I am, like, I haven't been doing the plank position, hanging upside down. I'm like, all this stuff that I just lived with all the time. It's like gone now.
Wow.
And it was one of those really crazy things where I'm like, people try to say healings don't happen.
That's fantastic.
They
Story.
do.
Yeah. Yeah. His power to heal is what opened my eyes. I would have never, had I not been healed, gone this direction. Had I not just had that foundation of, he still does this. It's not an old writings in a book, and now he's just sitting back waiting. When the Messiah was doing his will, people were being healed like all the time. I mean, you couldn't go somewhere without people going, quick, my child's dead, or, like you couldn't go anywhere without a miracle happening. Once they started happening, and what was he doing? His Father's will, thy will be done. And so he was one of the first to really erase a lot of the lies about that grace and love that we have. And it was with those miracles. So they still happen.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. But we'll let you get off here, Ben. This has been a blessing. I know you've probably got 5 kids.
You take them to the park, you said?
Let's say what?
You taking your kids to the park?
Yeah.
Yeah, I live like right next to a park, and my daughter, we had watched Little Rascals, and as we're laying down, she goes, "Was it really like that?" And I said, "Like what?" And she goes, "Could kids really just go play all they wanted, like without anyone watching them?" And it dawned on me, like, our kids have never lived in a world where we could just be like, "Go play, we'll see you later."
It's sad.
And I thought, man, that's terrible.
Yeah,
so sad.
Yeah, are you moving this way at all? I know.
Yeah. It looks like we bought some property there in Tennessee, so I'm hoping to get close. I should be not far from Bob Globebusters. I hope to visit everybody there, but I hope to spend a couple of days with you guys. That'd be fun.
Yeah, we're right across the board.
Yeah, we're having a meetup in September, and it's going to involve. I've wanted to make a multi-day event, but I can't afford to rent like the different places and stuff. So my wife, I've been praying about it and thinking about it, and I said, "You come up with a place because I'm not feeling led to go anywhere." And she goes, "Oh, there's a place on the lake that I went to as a kid. It's like huge." And so I looked at it. It was on a state park on the lake. There's campgrounds walking distance from there. Like you're on the state park. And so it's a big place. We can have a hangout one day. People like you could get up there and speak or present or whatever. And then we could camp the day before and like the night of and just have fun. It's going to be at the end of September, I think the 25th.
That might be a possibility because this fall I got to go down there and start seeing about how we get it all developed and everything. So
yeah,
I mean it's just land, it's farmland, but
perfect. That's what we got almost.
So that's what I'm hoping to try to save myself from this insanity right now and escape the world that's going down the toilet. But I hope that would be so awesome.
Yeah, we could get Bob there too. He just said, "Where are you guys at?" I think we're like 4.5 or 5 hours. Bob's South Carolina, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We're in Northwest Georgia, right next to Tennessee. So if you're in Georgia, we're close to Chattanooga, Tennessee. Yeah, we're close to that. We're in a little town called Ringgold that no one's ever heard of, but it's close to Chattanooga. It's probably 2 hours from Atlanta, hour and a half from Atlanta. But we're on the northern end, so not too far. I think 4.5, 5 hours from where Bob's at.
Yeah, and I'll be near Knoxville, about 30 minutes away from.
About 2 hours from us.
Yeah, that's not bad. Hour and a half, 2 hours. Depends on traffic.
If I'm driving an hour and a half,
yeah,
we'll have some awesome hangouts. That's for sure.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be so cool if we had him and Bob at our event in September. That would be insane. I'm going to try to record this one because people are like, I want to see the stuff that happens because it's amazing when you get the best people in the world together. Like. It's crazy that's gonna
be a long drive for me, unfortunately. But I have to do it because I have to check out the property and see exactly what we need to do there. But
the place
I'm not flying anymore.
Yeah,
I'm not going to go in that totalitarian trap. But
yeah. So yeah, if I wish as soon as we can book them as speakers, we could get more people starting. Yeah, put them on.
That would be awesome, though.
Yeah, we never make them really formal, though. I like it to just kind of go with the flow. But last time when we had our first meetup, people were like, all right, we're ready for you to start speaking. And I was like, I was just wanting to hang out. And so people like to have that sort of thing and involved with the fellowship. So, yeah, we'll let Ben get back to life, guys. I thank you guys.
Right.
Yeah, thank you. Me
was
and the
fun.
little bro sticking around.
and it was an honor, and I appreciate it very much. And God bless you guys are doing wonderful work, and I hope we can actually keep our friendship growing. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah,
anyway.
this is I guess a major blessing. It came about last night when I watched your video. I was like, man, I really wanted him on our last hangout, and I was like, I don't want to burden him, but let me just ask if he can join in. And so I'm glad you took that on, because I know that's hard for us when I have to do a video. We have to go somewhere else because my Wi-Fi is not good enough. You kind of have to arrange your life around that. So we appreciate it, man.
All right. Hey, have a good one. Thank you.
Thanks, brother. We'll see you. All right. We're still here, guys. We are going to talk about a few things. If you had any ideas of things we could add to his video, you can go ahead and talk
please
about that
share. Please share any ideas, because this video it needs to be what God has put on our heart is that this documentary has to be something that'll wake the masses, something you can share with anybody at any level that's going to show them not just the proofs that the earth is flat, not just the fact that NASA is lying. I think that's been well documented. We need to show why they're lying, and the final card that's coming up, this alien deception that, I remember when he first told me about a fake alien invasion, and I thought, this is so dumb. You've gone way off the deep end. But unfortunately, I think that there's a lot of truth to the fact that these fallen angels, these entities that are perhaps from this demonic world, are going to be presented to us. The Bible's clear that there's something coming that people are going to worship. There's a false set of miracles that are going to happen, and there's a great deception. And I think that this is a great candidate for that. And I don't like to put a name on something and go, well, this is what it is. This is this and this and that. But we've been working really, really diligently on this, and God has put it on me heavy to have this thing out like last week. And so we have been burning the midnight oil. Josh and I have been shooting ideas back and forth big time and saying, okay, like what has to go here? What order does this need to be in? And I think I understand now why, when you watch those movies, why there's 1,000 people in the credits, because I feel like me and him, I'm like, we need a team of people helping us on this, getting advice and getting things like that. And the big thing is keeping it short enough and to the point where it shows everything that you need to see, but isn't 3 hours long. And that's been hard. Right now we're at about a 45-minute documentary, give or take. And I think that's about as short and as to the point as we can make it.
There's a look at his video. I told him to send me a screenshot of what he's working on. For those of you who don't do videos, there's a lot of editing that goes into this. And you can see, each one of these clips, the sound, the titles. I use iMovie, but he uses another program, and it lets you zoom out and see the whole timeline real well. And so there is a lot of work going on. He's been staying up till 3 a.m. almost every night working on this video. So I thought that would give you guys a good idea when you wonder what goes into it. It's a lot of work, and you move one thing over here and everything shifts. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it even if you just wake one person up. That was sort of the goal here, but let me stop sharing. There you go.
But yeah, this is something that we're going to share it on both of our channels, the Grace and Truth channel and the Founded Earth Brothers channel. And if you guys know of a good way to share it that it can get out to everybody, there's different streaming options and different things. I know YouTube I'm afraid that it could get our channel cut. That's always a possibility.
Yeah. Someone said they walk and talk like, like the double mint twins.
Yeah. We used to always make that joke back when that commercial was big.
Yeah. We love messing with people. Being a twin is fun. You could mess with people, and at work we sometimes accidentally dress alike and switch classrooms with our kids. And he'll be giving them. I'll have him cover my class for me when I go somewhere, and my kids will be asking him questions, thinking he's me, and he'll totally go with it. And I do the same with his kids, but it's math, and I have no clue what I'm talking about.
And it's funny. One day, our classrooms are kind of around the hall from each other, so I would cut through his room to get to my room after I'd go to the bathroom or something. And I go into his classroom, and it's kids that I've also taught. So I'm making fun of these kids. I'm like cutting up with these kids and making jokes. And I start he's at the board teaching this lab on what was it, Material World. Yeah. So I started singing that Material World song, and here I am cutting up and goofing off. And he looks at me real concerned, and I'm like, what? And I had no idea until he said something. He was being observed by an administrator. They're over there taking notes, doing his official observation, and I'm over here singing and making fun of kids. And then I'm like, And I just looked at her and she goes, "Did you just come in here to rile these kids?" And I walked off real fast. I'm like, "Sorry about that." I had no idea she was sitting right there. No. I'm like, dude, I thought he was going to get fired, or I was going to get fired. One of us. I was like, "I am so sorry."
Thankfully, they understand that I have a weird brother. Yeah. So any questions, guys, or anything you wanted to add? I want to make sure we have the information about our meetup. May 30th, I wanted to share that. Anybody who can make it. And September 25th is going to be the big one. That's the one with the camping. If you want to camp, you don't have to. You can just go to the recreation hall that one day. But trying to get word out about this before it's too late. We need to all unite. And the May 30th one is literally a month away. I mean, it's at the end of this month. Today is May 1st. So short notice, but book the place. Same as last time for those of you that went. It was extremely, extremely fast. So we'll start it a little earlier. Instead of 2, we'll start at noon. That'll give us 2 hours, 2 extra hours to hang out. All right. So somebody said, oops, I've seen this question pop up. Have you seen Plasma Moon Theory or Map from channel Vibes of Cosmos? No, I have not.
I saw the video of the old guy that's talking about the moon being plasma, but I haven't seen anything really in depth on that.
Yeah. May 30th. Where? Just tuned in. Awesome. It's going to be in Northwest Georgia. In the country. I have it set at a place that's really close to our house. I was going to do the one by the city, but I kind of like being out where no one's going to mess with us and say anything about too many people being there. So it's probably about 7 miles off the interstate when you get in Georgia. If you're coming from Tennessee, it's right when you cross the Georgia line by about like 5 or 6 miles. And if you're coming from the Atlanta area, we're just about an hour and a half away. So right there, northwest corner, tri-state area. It's next to Alabama, Tennessee. And so we're right there in the corner of Georgia. All right. Somebody said changed from flat. Oh, you just noticed? Yeah. Yeah, we changed the name. It was not something that
we talked about that for months. Like he would always be like, I really feel like I should change it. I really feel like and I said, look, just change the name, because it was one of those things that we felt like people who were on the outside would see Flat Earth Brothers and go, oh, it's a flat earth thing. I don't even look into that. It's too stupid. Almost getting people that would not consider flat earth to fall into it almost accidentally, Yeah,
because I didn't get into it because I was looking for it. You find somebody talking about it in a different way, and it's kind of hard because a lot of people won't even look at it. And so a lot of people ask me, they'll say, how do you wake somebody up? I've shown them your NASA Fells video. I've shown them this and shown them that. Sometimes you just can't. Sometimes you can't wake people up. And that's the sad reality we live in. There's people that just will not. And maybe they can't handle it. I couldn't have handled it had the Holy Spirit not been involved. I mean, I remember sitting down and I couldn't even stand up. It was just so much the reality, the true reality. Once you see it, I just laid there in awe of like, wow, our Father is humble to have allowed this to just be hidden in front of our faces. And we let the wisdom of this world become our wisdom without knowing it. And so it gives a new meaning to what the wisdom of this world being foolish is. So yeah, but that's about it, guys. If there's no more questions, we've enjoyed having you all around. You guys are a major blessing. I feel sad when I don't come on and do these now. Once we started doing them, I kind of miss the fellowship. So it's not real life. I'm hoping to have more of those, but it's still good. There's people from Australia, France, everywhere. Where are we camping? The camping one, if you want more information, is going to be at Harrison Bay State Park. It's in Tennessee. And my wife said, do it on a weekend where people are camping anyways.
If you got a boat, bring it. There's a boat dock.
Yeah,
really
so
cool
it's
place for that.
Really nice. The actual rec hall that we have, you can go out the doors. There's a balcony and you can see the lake. I've looked to see if it's large enough of a lake to do laser experiments, but it's not where we're at. It's definitely not large enough to do any functional, laser experiments like the ones from Taboo Conspiracy. But I'm going to try to camp there the day before, the day of, and then also check out the next day on Sunday. But you guys, if people start wanting to camp out earlier, I'll take off work and camp out a little earlier. So it's September. Let me pull the dates up. I will pull them up. I'll show you real quick so you can just get a glimpse of it. Hold on. Let me share my screen again. Share screen. Share screen. Share entire screen. Sorry, there's 5 steps you got to go through here. Okay. So May 21st, the hangout is going to be actually May 21st. May 2021, the hangout's going to be May 30th. I'm really bad with saying numbers properly, sort of dyslexic there. So May 30th, that's our upcoming one. The camping one is in September. The place I booked was hard to book. It was a lot of the weekends are filled up. People get married there. Nice little recreation hall. But the actual event, not the camping, is going to be on the 25th on a Saturday. Okay, I'll be camping there Friday, Saturday night, and leaving Sunday. Pretty big place. I mean, not extremely massive. It's not like a giant auditorium, but it's big enough to fit a couple hundred people, and we won't be squeezed in there like we were the last time with our other meetups. So good place. We'll try to have food and everything for you. That's in September. If you're interested, send us an email, and I will add you to our list of contacts and give you addresses, times, our phone number, and all of that. So that's what we wanted to put out there. Again, he's going to be working around the clock trying to get that video out. And for those of you who can't tell us apart or don't know, I'm usually the one that uploads videos to this channel. He has another channel. He has done videos on our channel. He's done a few of them, and you guys really enjoyed them. He hasn't been making videos that long, but he's really talented at it, as you guys pointed out.
Than he is.
Yeah, as you guys pointed out, best video ever. His first one he uploaded, and it scared me because I didn't see the final product. He just said, "All right, I put it on the channel," and I was like, "Oh no, I didn't get to proof it." But you guys enjoyed it. It was the biblical Earth model video. So you can find his channel, Grace and Truth Fellowship, down in the description, as well as Taboo Conspiracy, who was just on. But we'll let you guys go. We're running out of stuff to say.
Yeah, y'all have a blessed night, blessed weekend.
Yeah, we love you. We are blessed that you were sent this way, and it will be a joy to come back and do this again soon, and hopefully see some of you guys at these meetups we're having. But don't burden yourself with traveling too far if it's beyond the certain limits. Okay.
Burden yourself. It's okay.
Yeah. Or you can, yeah. We want to see you. But Globebusters, Bob, we love you. Thanks for all your work, brother. Been a blessing seeing the amount of people you've helped wake up. We hope to see you, hopefully at the one in September. It'd be nice to have you come and speak, even just for a minute and hang out. So you and the wife, the trophy wife you got. So love you guys. We'll see you.
Good night.